I want to thank you for participating in this and doing such a great job with the program.
Well, I appreciate that, Dr. Paul. And the site that I set up is called ronpaulhomeschool.com. And if you go there, you get a quick intro to the program. I give you an overview of it. And I throw in a lot of bonuses, too, to make it almost irresistible. I have a whole bunch of free things I give you at ronpaulhomeschool.com. But I honestly think it's the most important thing I've done. And I've been around this thing a long time, and I've done books and speeches and podcasts and this and that. But what could be more important than making what turned out to be hundreds of videos on government and history, a lot of times on topics that are just not going to be covered, or they're going to be mangled, or our point of...
The Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, April 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.36 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,574. Antiwar.com reports Russia's foreign ministry issued a statement Thursday calling on the United States to immediately halt all military activity on the Korean peninsula. The U.S. is currently engaged in joint military operations with South Korea. The spring joint operations are always a source of tension on the peninsula, and Russian officials say they are not helping in ongoing efforts to try to reduce military tensions in Korea. The operations have been a problem every year. This year hasn't been as big an issue, however. The joint operations are smaller and only half as long this year because of the Winter Olympics. North Korea has been fine with ignoring the operations this year. North Korea has planned summits with both South Korea and the United States over the next 2 months and doesn't want to risk damaging the considerable diplomatic progress over the war games, especially when they're visibly toned down from recent years. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the city of San Francisco sued U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Thursday, alleging he rescinded several civil rights guidelines for marginalized segments of the population. San Francisco City Attorney Dennis Herrera's complaint claims Sessions unlawfully rescinded civil rights protections for youth, immigrants, the poor, people of color, and people with disabilities. His office also argues Sessions failed to provide a meaningful explanation for the repeal, which is required under the Administrative Procedures Act, and the Department of Justice refused to disclose who was on a task force that selected the documents for repeal. Herrera said in a statement, the mission of the U.S. Department of Justice is to ensure fair and impartial administration of justice for all Americans. Under the leadership of Attorney General Sessions, the department has shown a shocking disregard for protections of rights of marginalized communities, rolling back civil rights initiatives in a wide variety of areas. As Americans, we have an obligation to stand up and right that wrong. In December, Sessions rescinded 25 U.S. Department of Justice guidance documents claiming they were unnecessary, inconsistent with existing law, or otherwise improper. Herrera's lawsuit seeks to have the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California void the DOJ's repeal and have the guidance documents reinstated. The bipartisan U.S. Commission on Civil Rights issued a statement urging Sessions to reverse the decision to rescind these recent narrow-crafted, urgently applicable guidance documents. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports a justice for the Supreme Court of Massachusetts on Thursday ordered the dismissal of 7,690 drug cases because of their link to a former forensic chemist who authorities said for 8 years stole drug evidence and worked in a state lab under the influence. Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court Justice Frank Gaziano issued an order dismissing thousands of convictions tainted by Sonia Farak, a chemist at the Massachusetts State Crime Laboratory in Amherst who pled guilty in 2014. The dismissal came after various district attorneys' offices in November notified the court that an estimated 6,000 drug cases were subject to dismissal because of their connection to Farak. Carol Rose, executive director for the ACLU of Massachusetts, said in a statement, "Today is a victory for justice and fairness." The dismissals came after prosecutors in April agreed to dismiss around 21,000 criminal cases because of a scandal involving a different state chemist, Annie Dukin, who admitted faking tests. Farak, a chemist at the Massachusetts State Criminal Laboratory in Amherst, was arrested in 2013. She later pled guilty to stealing drugs from the lab and was sentenced in 2014 to serve 18 months in prison. The ACLU has asked the court to dismiss not just the cases directly linked to Farak, but all drug convictions arising from the Amherst lab during her tenure. The court is scheduled to hear arguments in that case in May. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
An update now on a legal battle emerging around the Onion News Network's own Jode Kressbeckler. After the shocking story yesterday that a group of assailants attacked Congressman William Cummings, tied him to a horse, and dragged him through a briar patch, some are now saying these statements from Mr. Kressbeckler last week may have incited the attack.
Bootlegging Congressman Cummings ought to be tied to a horse and drugged through a briar patch.
Mr. Kressbeckler's show is billed as an opinion and entertainment program.
Yes,
and
it
he
is.
even calls himself nothing but a caterwauling old badger, so
Right.
the claim that he would incite people to violence seems pretty far-fetched.
He displayed a map of Congressman Cummings' home in relation to the nearest briar patch, told his viewers where to purchase a, quote, good pulling horse, and used a life-size dummy of Congressman Cummings to demonstrate effective knot tying techniques.
Right. I think most reasonable people would see that as simply a ribald political satire.
Right.
Briar patch is obviously a metaphor for the prickly political atmosphere in Washington, and drag from a horse means something else.
Makes sense to me.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say!
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our Bit Plus Network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome here to the Friday edition live of the Call to Freedom here live on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. If you can believe it, it is snowing its ass off outside. It is insane. I can't believe it is like, yes.
Wow.
But it's like 40 degrees, so nothing is sticking, but it is seriously snowing outside.
Well, that's kind of fun.
It is like blizzard conditions and 40. It hasn't been snowing since, like, I want to say about 11:30 this morning. It's starting to slow down a little bit now, and I want to say we have, I mean, it was like blizzard conditions for 4 hours now, and we've got, like, it looks like a dusting on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's been like in the 60s here for the last few days.
Yeah, here as well. It's gorgeous. The cherry blossoms are in peak bloom today, so.
You know what?
It's spring here.
I just went through my first March where I didn't want to cut my own nose off because I live north of the Mason-Dixon line, and you guys don't really get dogwoods up here. And I grew up in the dogwood capital of the world, literally, with the Dogwood Arts Festival. They actually paint colored arrows on the streets so that you can know which neighborhoods have the most dogwood trees to go look at.
Wow, that's so weird.
And I'm deathly allergic to dogwood pollen, like my eyes and my face. Like it's, I got a cousin that it's so bad he has to take shots like every day from the beginning of March through the end of May.
So for you, all the arrows are just pointing the exact opposite direction of the way you want to walk.
Oh, yeah. For me, I'm like, oh, don't go down that street. Not this week. No, please. Don't drive down that street this week. It's been an eventful week, to say the least. It's a Friday, and everybody knows what that means. We're going to be covering the biggest and best of libertarian drama this week. I honestly believe that we could fill the entire show with libertarian drama this week if we wanted to. There is so much of it. You could shovel it. It'd be easier to shovel than the snow we've got outside. So, and as you can hear, for some reason, I'm really not sure. No, I do know why. I gave a sermon today, and I have a tendency to go,
Southern Baptist?
I do. Anybody who's ever seen me debate, if there's something that
You should read my book if you were really about to ask me if I was familiar with Southern Baptists.
Right. But I do. I go real Southern Baptist, Pentecostal, like fire and brimstone, tent revival, if it's a subject that I'm passionate about, and I did, and now my voice is shot. When I was at the national convention during the debates, by the end of the convention, I literally couldn't talk for 5 solid days. After the
believe
convention.
that.
Were you there?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Oh, you were? So you heard.
Yep, yeah.
Yeah, I blew out a vocal cord when I got up and I endorsed Larry Sharpe and said, you know what, look, if you voted for me, anybody else, whoever you voted for, vote for Sharpe. Keep Weld from destroying the party. If you want there to be a libertarian party in 2020 that resembles anything like what you see today, you have to vote for Larry. When I gave that speech, I blew a vocal cord out. So, yeah. So I couldn't swallow. My throat was swollen. It was pretty rough for like 5 days before I could speak and even sound like I do now. So, but we've got some stories we're going to get into. We talk about censorship on the show a lot, because we're libertarians. And right now, Jesus Christ, I sound like Alex Jones today. Right now, libertarians are being censored among libertarians. Libertarians can't say things that, though they may be controversial, they were things that we were allowed to talk about before. And you know what? I'm just going to have to wander out on a limb here and say this is also becoming one of those topics. The state of Israel. Is it okay for the British government to march into an area with an army and then tell European settlers?
Jesus, Will, you sound like you smoke like 5 packs a day.
I know. I'm sorry. That's why I was saying I wanted some of you guys to read some of these things today.
I got you.
Yeah. To be able and the BBC straight up admits this. Like, you can literally go watch documentaries that the BBC has filmed about the British government. British government controlled media is admitting we went in there with an army. We displaced the local Muslim and Jewish and Christian populations, and then against the will of all 3 religious groups, brought in millions of Russian and Eastern European Jewish refugees and settled them there against their will. And that somehow is a libertarian thing. That because a group of people who have been systematically displaced from their land, and literally the government shows up with machine guns in the middle of the night, throws you, your children, your mother, everyone out in the middle of the street. You've got 5 minutes to. It's like an IRS raid. You got 15 minutes to get whatever you can carry. And by the time you're halfway across the street, the bulldozers are knocking your house down, and they're building an apartment complex there for Europeans who have moved into the area, who happen to be Jewish, to take over that area. And that somehow that is a thing libertarians can stomach or defend. And that even this issue, because the alt-right, quote unquote, has a very anti-Semitic, flavor to it, that you now also can't question American policy toward the state of Israel. That states now are people. I don't like a state and this state's actions, so that means I have a prejudice against a 780 million person religious group. It's again, we're back to the feelings and perceptions, certain things you're not allowed to talk about, and we're getting back into that again. And now we're seeing even RT, Russia Today, as they may be state-run TV, but you have to admit they were the first ones to give libertarians the opportunity to have a voice in major media. The first time you ever saw an anarchist in media that was that size. So, you have to admit, they are putting people who want to subjugate against the American government on TV, and that means our community. And Abby Martin may be a bit of a syndicalist, but acknowledging the fact that the United States government goes out of their way to support what has basically turned into an apartheid state. We invade countries on their behalf. We topple regimes on their behalf. That she should be censored and shut down, not by RT, but by YouTube. YouTube now censoring content that is critical of certain governments. If you've got an opinion, give us a call, 603-283-6160. We're going to get right into this story as soon as we get back here on The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Here's a chance to do do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is another wonderful day here. And you know what? You should come visit our crypto community if you get the chance. And another really great chance is coming up soon. You can join liberty-minded anarchists, voluntarists, activists, and other libertarians this summer from June the 14th through June the 18th for Fork Fest 2018 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fork Fest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and you're invited to come create whatever experience that you'd like others to have. Fork Fest is completely decentralized. It's the unvention, which means no one's in charge, so everyone's in charge. It's completely up to you to see to make sure you get to create what happens. Or, you know what? Just bring a cooler and a lawn chair, stoke up your campfire, sit back, and hang out with some really awesome Liberty folks in the woods. You can learn more at forkfest.party. And while you're there, you can join the forum or the Telegram chat group. Again, that's Forkfest, F-O-R-K, forkfest.party. Come see us this summer. Now, we've been kind of gilding the lily a little bit here on this story. Do either of the two of you happen to have it open over there since it got sent?
I do, yeah.
Can you do the honors? Or are you able?
Reading the story?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Take it away, Chelsea.
All right. An episode of Abby Martin's Empire Files, featuring journalist Max Blumenthal and spotlighting rising militarism in Israel, has been blocked by YouTube in 28 countries, including Israel and the UK, for violating, quote, local laws. This is also a quote from the official Twitter account. Just notified by YouTube that Abby Martin's interview with Max Blumenthal has been blocked from being viewed in 28 countries. So, that's just a repeat of that. Entitled Jewish American on Israel's Fascism, No Hope for Change from Within, the episode featured a discussion between Martin and journalist Max Blumenthal about the increasingly militaristic, racist attitude of Israel towards Palestinians. YouTube has claimed that it removed my interview, so this is coming from him, with Abby Martin to comply with laws in 28 countries. However, nothing I did or said in the discussion was even remotely illegal, even in countries with the strictest hate crime laws. My comments were based entirely on my extensive journalistic experience in the region, and my analysis was clinical in nature. At no point did I denigrate anyone based on their faith or ethnicity. Blumenthal said that his comments were motivated by a strong opposition to Israel's systemic discrimination against Palestinians and his dedication to equal rights for all. He called YouTube's decision a political one and likely made under pressure from powerful pro-Israel interests. So the video is here if you do want to play some of it. It also says viewers from around the world responded to Empire Files' tweet reporting that the video includes a warning that says identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences.
Okay, and that's the problem right there with that new thing they were talking about, the new YouTube rating system and all that kind of thing, that interest groups would be able to go in and censor material so that you couldn't be critical of certain government policy. And the state of Israel was specifically cited as these people will go and they will have completely legitimate criticism censored. Muslim fundamentalists and pro-Israel people were the very two people that were specifically mentioned when people were complaining about that new rating system where you could work for YouTube as your job would be to watch videos and make sure they were politically correct enough, basically.
Well, can we just get a bunch of our own people in there and start taking down Democratic videos?
I mean, it would be awesome, but, libertarians are too busy arguing with each other over whether or not taxation is even theft anymore.
Tell me about it.
40 years ago, we were getting things done, and we were getting better vote percentages. We were getting electoral college votes. But then we had the ability to agree on simple things like, is taxation theft, and is murdering brown people overseas always wrong, or is it not wrong, depending on which candidate happens to be speaking at the time. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so the video's description, view counter, comment section, and like and dislike buttons have apparently also been disabled. So I don't know if that's the standard MO.
No, that's up to the video uploader to do. I don't think that YouTube even has obviously they have the ability, but I don't think that as any matter of policy, they disable those on videos.
I don't know. It says it's been disabled by YouTube. Perhaps they do have.
I would have to see absolute proof that that is true.
Proof that they are attempting to censor and slow this.
If that's true, it's far more likely that it's like The Professor. They self-censorship to make a fuss about it.
This is the stuff that crazy lady just shot YouTube's headquarters up over. This exact same thing.
Yeah.
This exact same thing where YouTube is now not only simply a business, it's becoming a political entity that can be influenced by political entities. And, there's more money. You can get money from the dairy industry to not allow videos up that talk about the stuff they put in our milk, or you can get, censorship becomes something that's like, if you pay us enough money, we'll keep these videos from trending. We'll keep them from becoming popular. We'll purposefully, make the algorithm avoid them showing up when people Google, make them avoid showing up when people specifically look for these topics. It's terrible. I got a thing today from Google basically saying that if I pay them money, my Malek Center will show up first on Google instead of another one that's overseas.
Yeah, they've been doing that for a while, but yeah, the issue is, who has more money.
No, there is zero truth to their claim. There are zero search results about YouTube disabling comments on people's videos. That's the uploader who disabled them.
Okay. It's possible that was written wrong. I would say if it was the uploader, the probable intention there was, at least if a lot of people can't go around disliking or commenting negatively on your video, then hopefully you can avoid some of that, like negativity or attention at all.
Well, no, there's actually, like, they have people that it's their, like, they get YouTube hired a bunch of people, and whenever that happens, you have groups like AIPAC and stuff like that actively encourage their membership to go get these jobs so that they're able to censor criticism of the state of Israel. It's plain and simple.
Fossilized evidence reveals the Spazosaurus was the largest doofus ever to roam the Earth, and a new tandem mobility scooter is released. This is the Onion Week in Review, damn it, and we're going to need you to demonstrate a little decorum. Got it? This week, economists confirmed that the booming tear gas industry continues to lead the world's economic recovery. Financial experts confirmed that the growing demand for tear gas in countries like Turkey, Brazil, and Greece has increased over 20% annually over the past few years, and is anticipated to continue playing a major role in the world economy.
The market for tear gas just keeps sustaining itself and growing. We can only hope that more people demand tear gas in the coming months, and the recovery will be here sooner than we thought.
In other news, a community is devastated by the sight of an old man struggling up some steps. A stack of unused CDRs turns 5 years old, and this zoo is really promoting the hell out of their new fruit bat. Your diligence and patience have been noted. Prove yourself further at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
This is novelist Tom Robbins. When my mother was diagnosed with glaucoma, her conservative Virginia physician told her there was only one treatment that might ease her pain and save her eyesight. That treatment was medical marijuana, which he could not prescribe. I offered to get her some and teach her how to use it effectively, but my father objected because marijuana was against the law. So my mother, who loved to read and walk in nature, was condemned to grow cruelly, unnecessarily blind. Tragedies like this happen all the time, but they don't have to keep happening. To learn more about medical marijuana, call the Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or visit them on the web at mpp.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Now, we're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And what we've been talking about, YouTube censorship. This is, I think it's a pretty important story, if for no other reason than it was the inspiration behind the latest mass shooting here in the United States, in San Francisco, at the YouTube headquarters, is the purposeful censorship of political material by YouTube to please someone. And that's really the question, is who exactly are they trying to please by committing these different acts of censorship? I mean, even big names like Philip DeFranco, who have been on YouTube for years, have millions of people followers, bring in tons of ad revenue, are being demonetized and censored in this fashion when they say things that are outside of a very narrow political agenda that seems to be, well, supported by YouTube. Now, we've got Chelsea Snyder from the Vora Method on, along with Aria Demezio, and Chelsea has been telling us about this story here where Abby Martin of RT has been, she's been censored by YouTube in 28 countries. Her video no longer available, and according to RT, YouTube also disabled the like and dislike, but there's comments, view counter, the video's description, view counter, comment section, and like and dislike options have all been disabled by YouTube, according to RT. Aria has contested that point, but I want to turn it back over to Chelsea because, as anybody who's not been listening to the first half hour of the show so far can't hear from me speaking, I don't have a voice today for some reason. So 5 days of yelling at people on the air, and I can't talk on Friday. So, and it sucks too because I was really wanting to get in on libertarian drama this week. But go ahead, take it away, Chelsea.
Something where YouTube could do that?
Yeah, well, I have found where they have a history of doing it. On videos of little kids where perverts go there and say perverted things, YouTube will, delete and disable comments on like videos of little kids doing gymnastics and things like that. But I didn't find any evidence of them doing it in any political context.
Okay. Well, who knows? Maybe it's a new thing, or maybe it's what we said before.
Well, not only that, you'll find that when it comes to the state of Israel, like businesses will make special, like yesterday we were talking, never in the history of America has a state made a foreign policy declaration, but Florida decided to because Israel was taking flack in the media for bombing UN girls' schools. I mean, come on. So, I mean, when it comes to Israel, it seems that businesses and states and basically everyone who doesn't want to be boycotted or have AIPAC come after them make special dispensations. I mean, during the sequester, the money that we send Israel was moved from one budget to another budget, and it took an act of Congress in order to do it so that none of their money would be cut while every other budget in Washington was cut.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that's exactly what happened in 2013. So,
well, we've got to pay for the impending apocalypse, Will.
For real. Anyway, go ahead.
It's not going to pay for itself.
Back into the article, Chelsea.
Yeah, so finishing up, according to Blumenthal, this isn't the first time YouTube has censored his commentary in journalism on Israel-Palestine. In 2010, he made a viral video exposing racist extremism in Israel, which received widespread media coverage and was subsequently removed from the platform without explanation. The trend of censoring material that presents Israel in a less favorable light has only intensified as establishment attacks on critical voices expands. This is from Blumenthal himself.
I hate to interrupt, but
Go ahead.
they keep calling it censorship. It's not. You're not entitled, dude, to have videos on YouTube. That's a service that they offer you, and you agree to the terms and conditions when you try to use that service. You have no right to use that service.
Yeah, but if you're not allowed to make videos that are critical of Israeli political policy,
He agreed that YouTube, that he would abide YouTube's terms and policies. If that's their terms and policies, then
but it's not
he's
listed,
not being
but
censored. He agreed to those terms.
But do you see that you're not allowed to be critical of Israel in the terms and conditions? And no,
Yeah, I would say it's messed up, but it's not censorship because, you know, it's a
At the very
completely
least-
voluntary relationship. It's like complaining to your boss that they don't let you, you know, cuss them out at work. It's like, well, you know, nobody's forcing you to be here.
Well, at the very least, they are enforcing a rule that doesn't actually exist in their terms of service.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest issue. And really, I mean, even if you don't want to call it censorship specifically, what it boils down to is YouTube a free space for sharing information? And it definitely no longer is. It maybe used to be, but it certainly no longer is.
Yeah, it used to be.
Right. And so, you know, if that's the case, then the free market just needs to, you know, do what it does best and create a new, you know, platform that is, you know, an actual source for free sharing of information. This is just going to show that you know, YouTube is not that. So if it's not censorship, then it's at least not freedom. And that's...
Well, now these last two paragraphs, Chelsea, I think are the most important.
Okay, so it says, last year, YouTube invited the Anti-Defamation League to join its Trusted Flagger system. The ADL defines opposition to Israel's system of apartheid as a form of anti-Semitism. Blumenthal told RT that he believes the ADL is likely behind the suppression of his interview with Martin. Empire Files, the documentary and interview program airing on Telesur, is known for addressing hot-button issues that are often overlooked or ignored by traditional media. So
right there in the very end of the article, it actually says the same thing I was saying before, that special interest groups, when they found out that there would be a way that you could watch videos and you could flag them and have them censored or removed, whatever word you want to say, these special interest groups went out and applied and got jobs on those teams so that they could prevent certain information from being public. I think that's something that's newsworthy.
Yeah.
YouTube is being manipulated by a foreign government. I think that's kind of newsworthy. Why are we not hearing about this on CNN?
Why are we still in rounds and rounds and rounds of talks about Russia?
For real.
Why aren't we hearing about it on YouTube?
Yeah.
But ching.
Very good.
That was the best. I think that was the best line of the whole show. Aria, you win the internet tonight.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I just... And this isn't the only thing. Like, again, like not getting really much major media attention. Your opinions on these issues are being controlled. Another story that's related to this when we get back that we're going to get into that was brought in by Aria is that, well, the state of Israel is paying Israeli students for social media propaganda. So it's not just Russian bots that are trying to have influence on our elections and our political arena. It's also college kids trying to make beer money by supporting apartheid and the spending of American money to bomb brown children in Palestine. This is where and you're paying for it, folks. $3.8 billion last year, $4.4 billion this year.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, we've been talking about the fact that, social media and YouTube, there is a war on for your opinions and your mind And, well, it turns out that there's a lot more than just Russia who's waging those social media wars for American support. Turns out there are other countries that not only are doing it, but have openly been doing it for
at least 5 years.
At least 5 years now. And openly paying people to do it and doing it without any, like I haven't heard Hillary Clinton go out and say, like this is affecting our elections. We should do something about it. So I'm wondering, if foreign meddling in the elections is the problem, or is it just who does the meddling? And it's coming down to, well, at least one country has special privileges. Aria, you've got that story. It's coming from HuffPost UK.
Yes, I do. And apparently, Israel is paying students for pro-Israeli social media propaganda. And before you think, oh, it's fake news or it's, Russian hysteria, but for Israel, this actually comes from Israel's official statements. It says that Israel has announced that it will pay university students to circulate pro-Israel information on social media networks without having to identify themselves as working for the government. The move was publicized in a statement from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office, the Associated Press reported. Students will receive scholarships to engage international audiences online and combat anti-Semitism and calls to boycott Israel, it was alleged. In 2012, a Palestinian blog reported similar arrangements between the National Union of Israeli Students and the Israeli government. Students would be paid $2,000 to post pro-Israel messages online for 5 hours a week.
Seriously, though, I quit my job. Like 5 hours a week,
right?
$2,000. Like, yeah, all right, I'm done. You sold me.
According to Israeli daily news portal, daily newspaper, whatever that Jewish word is, the most recent proposition is being spearheaded by Danny Shaman, who was slammed by the media for writing anti-Muslim messages on Facebook. Students will be organized into units at each university with a chief coordinator who receives a full scholarship, 3 desk coordinators for language, graphics, and research who receive lesser scholarships, and students termed activists who will receive a minimal scholarship.
That is a lot. That is a lot of money.
Ultimately paid by the American taxpayers.
And also, just for the record, this is basically just saying, like, hey, could you sell your soul to your overlords and we'll pay you for, like, a super trashy education. But that aside, wow, that's a lot. Okay, all right.
Yes. And the source, this is from Haaretz newspaper, quoting official Israeli documents. Netanyahu, this coming directly from Netanyahu, the Netanyahu government. There was, let's see here. It says this idea requires not making the role of the state stand out, and therefore it is necessary to adhere to great involvement of the students themselves. So, they're straight up saying, like, we need to get this done, and we need to do it without people realizing that it's being done by the state. We need it to look kind of organic while people are out there.
But that's the unbelievable part. Is like, if you wanted that, why on earth would you announce publicly that you're doing this? Really, I think I mentioned this a couple days ago, but it's just like they've gotten so blatant. They're basically like, you know what? This is the lie we're going to tell, and we're just going to tell it super hard, and they're going to believe it anyways. And then they just laugh at us and, like, drink some snooty wine or something.
No, they release a press release 2 weeks before they lie and say, hello, public. We're about to lie to you.
Like, I
don't
can't believe
anything you hear about this subject on social media for the next 6 months. And then 2 days later it starts and people are like, oh my God. They totally don't. It's literally like the government could kick you dead in the balls and tell you, I just kicked you in the balls. And you would look at the government and go, nuh-uh.
Wow.
The libertarian points at you and goes, hey, yo, he just kicked you in the nuts. And you go,
well, some libertarians do that. Others go, you know what? I didn't see it.
Society.
Yeah, social contract. You signed it. You
That's
signed
the
it.
social contract.
Oh, man.
It's insane.
And then again, most Americans wouldn't believe this story from the Huffington Post anyway because it's not a good look for Israel, so it cannot be true.
But the best part is, like, they straight up, and it's from official. This is from official government press releases. The Netanyahu government's like, yes, our image looks really bad because we bombed like some United Nations girls' schools and some United Nations hospitals and some United Nations aid warehouses that were filled with like toilet paper and tampons and medicine and powdered milk and stuff, so that the people that were bombing, that we also have a military blockade and not allowing, like stuff people need to live in and out. It's basically old-fashioned siege warfare. And because these people won't give up, they bomb them once every year, every other year. We're in the process of a bombing campaign now, which is part of why I decided when I saw this story that it needed to be brought up. Is that, when the Israeli government decides, well, we're going to bomb a UN hospital and blame terrorists, it's like, well, if you drop missiles on my family my entire life, I mean, logically, what do you think that does to a human being?
Seriously.
For real. I mean, you have a society now from 1948, the day of the Nakba, from 1948 today, that has what I refer to as generational post-traumatic stress. Generational post-traumatic stress. Like, these are fathers raising children, and the father, the mother, and the children all have post-traumatic stress, and they're trying to help each other. And how do you create a functional society like that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it counts as post-traumatic stress if the trauma is still ongoing.
Right?
I mean,
And
it's just traumatic stress.
And you can't talk about it. You can't question it. You can't challenge it. And the American government's spending, I was wrong on that number earlier, $39.4 billion of the American taxpayer. Do you buy gas? Yeah? Do you buy gasoline to get back and forth to work? Do you buy anything? Do you buy anything? Because the cost of the gasoline is worked into everything that you purchase. Then you are funding this. You are paying for this. Every person on earth in America that consumes is paying for this. And it's even gotten to the point that our own government is attempting to pass legislation that will call boycotting companies that are built on occupied land a hate crime. To refuse to put their products in your business will be a hate crime by law. You're welcome to Google that. Look up anti-BDS law in America. And there are literally laws on the books, bipartisan, Democrats and Republicans on their knees for the giant Israeli bukkake. Let me tell you what. And they are begging.
Oh my God. Me too. Okay.
They're begging for it. Give it up. Give it here. I love it. I love it.
What?
They're like porno whores, man. It's awful. And they're doing it with your money. Your money. Your politicians, Israeli government officials, are standing in there with their willies out, making it rain on your congressman right now.
Will has stunned me into
with
silence.
Your money. Right now, with your money. And it's not just the Israeli government. They're on their knees for the Saudis too. And they're just woo-hoo. They sucking sand. Woohoo. Just flipping them dollars out. And it's your money. Your money. You want to know why you pay $3 a gallon for gas? Go ask your congressman why he's on his knees for an Israeli AIPAC official. Go ask your congressman why he's getting paid millions of dollars to go speak at a foreign lobbyist
If you're looking for work, or even if you're not, here's an innocent mistake you really want to avoid. Never return calls before listening to your voicemail. Your wireless phone sends calls you didn't answer into voicemail, and it shows you phone numbers for calls you missed. Important. Don't call back callers you missed until you have first listened to your messages. Otherwise, you frustrate people who bothered to leave messages by asking them to repeat a message they just left as your voicemail greeting instructed them to. If you're a job applicant, this alone could be a deal killer. And even if you're not, there are few things you can convey to someone that are as fundamentally maddening as, "I didn't hear you." With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, April 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.36 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,574. Antiwar.com reports Russia's foreign ministry issued a statement Thursday calling on the United States to immediately halt all military activity on the Korean peninsula. The U.S. is currently engaged in joint military operations with South Korea. The spring joint operations are always a source of tension on the peninsula, and Russian officials say they are not helping in ongoing efforts to try to reduce military tensions in Korea. The operations have been a problem every year. This year hasn't been as big an issue, however. The joint operations are smaller and only half as long this year because of the Winter Olympics. North Korea has been fine with ignoring the operations this year. North Korea has planned summits with both South Korea and the United States over the next 2 months and doesn't want to risk damaging the considerable diplomatic progress over the war games, especially when they're visibly toned down from recent years. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the city of San Francisco sued U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Thursday, alleging he rescinded several civil rights guidelines for marginalized segments of the population. San Francisco City Attorney Dennis Herrera's complaint claims Sessions unlawfully rescinded civil rights protections for youth, immigrants, the poor, people of color, and people with disabilities. His office also argues Sessions failed to provide a meaningful explanation for the repeal, which is required under the Administrative Procedures Act, and the Department of Justice refused to disclose who was on a task force that selected the documents for repeal. Herrera said in a statement, the mission of the U.S. Department of Justice is to ensure fair and impartial administration of justice for all Americans. Under the leadership of Attorney General Sessions, the department has shown a shocking disregard for protections of rights of marginalized communities, rolling back civil rights initiatives in a wide variety of areas. As Americans, we have an obligation to stand up and right that wrong. In December, Sessions rescinded 25 U.S. Department of Justice guidance documents claiming they were unnecessary, inconsistent with existing law or otherwise improper. Herrera's lawsuit seeks to have the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California void the DOJ's repeal and have the guidance documents reinstated. The bipartisan U.S. Commission on Civil Rights issued a statement urging Sessions to reverse the decision to rescind these recent narrow-crafted, urgently applicable guidance documents. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports a justice for the Supreme Court of Massachusetts on Thursday ordered the dismissal of 7,690 drug cases because of their link to a former forensic chemist who authorities said for 8 years stole drug evidence and worked in a state lab under the influence. Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court Justice Frank Gaziano issued an order dismissing thousands of convictions tainted by Sonia Farrak, a chemist at the Massachusetts State Crime Laboratory in Amherst who pled guilty in 2014. The dismissal came after various district attorneys' offices in November notified the court that an estimated 6,000 drug cases were subject to dismissal because of their connection to Farrak. Carol Rose, executive director for the ACLU of Massachusetts, said in a statement, "Today is a victory for justice and fairness." The dismissals came after prosecutors in April agreed to dismiss around 21,000 criminal cases because of a scandal involving a different state chemist, Annie Dukin, who admitted faking tests. Farrak, a chemist at the Massachusetts State Criminal Laboratory in Amherst, was arrested in 2013. She later pled guilty to stealing drugs from the lab and was sentenced in 2014 to serve 18 months in prison. The ACLU has asked the court to dismiss not just the cases directly linked to Farrak, but all drug convictions arising from the Amherst lab during her tenure. The court is scheduled to hear arguments in that case in May. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
The military's newly developed unmanned Pentagon spokes drone completed its first live mission today, successfully carrying out a press conference on the war in Iraq. The Mobile Press Engagement Unit is being hailed by Pentagon officials as a revolutionary advancement in protecting military personnel.
The spokes drone proved effective at neutralizing reporters' questions about 85% of the time.
Many officials say the unit has the potential to save countless careers. Using a high-tech gimbal camera and microphone system, the unit tracks reporters' movements and audio output, then analyzes the data to assess the threat level.
It formulates and deploys an effectively vague response.
We have taken away a number of the enemy sanctuaries and gained initiatives in the areas. Eileen.
Military technology experts see the unit as adaptable to a wide variety of treacherous interview scenarios. They estimated it could even withstand situations too hostile for any human spokesman to bear, such as anti-war documentary interviews.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com on the Call to Freedom.
All right, welcome into the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So we're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio. It's another Friday afternoon. It's our it's the last day of the week. It's our final broadcast this week, it's our final Crypto Hour of the week as well. Now, not surprisingly, just to make sure I cover this, we have triggered the hell out of everyone's favorite mouth-breathing dullard. Oh, my God.
That's
this is
not
hilarious.
Surprising.
I wish he would post some of this stuff in the actual chat instead of sending it to me privately. I usually just ignore him, but some of the stuff I saw looked pretty funny, so I figured I'd check it out.
I think he's actually been blocked from the LRN Discord server.
Well, he is calling you my turd child she-sheep. He's going to get off as he watches you suffer. Couple brown
Yeah, there's
people,
nothing creepy about that at all.
Full Metal Jacket in your head. Plagiary, Quran, Viva Israel, death to Will Coley.
Wow.
Oh my God. He is so triggered.
Yeah.
I find it amusing. I can't help it, you know. It's like the thing with Heather yesterday, you know, like this guy calls in, and I know we're not supposed to talk about this to libertarian drama, but you know, like this is a perfect example of the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, this guy calls in, and him and Heather get into an argument on the air, and they have a disagreement, and she gets hot, and he gets hot, and she says something, and he calls her a bitch, and then she gets mad, and she storms off, and she's like yelling. I'm watching the whole thing on Twitch. It's the funniest thing I've seen. It's the best episode of Free Talk Live I've seen in years. And she storms through the house, and she's just all mad and flipping out and angry and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? Like, I've literally had Ricky from the Commonwealth threaten my life on the air. Like, literally challenge me to a gunfight on air and continue to keep him on air for a whole segment and laugh and poke fun of him. Or what I do sometimes, just to make a point, because I know he watches on YouTube, I open my laptop and focus on what I'm doing on my laptop and completely ignore the fact that he even exists or is talking on the air. And if he addresses me, I kind of make it known that, like, wait, oh, I'm sorry. Were you
like you weren't listening?
Because I wasn't listening. Even if he says my name, I'm like, wait, what? What did I do now? I'm sorry, man. When you call, I don't care enough about what you have to say to pay attention. So I do other stuff while you're on the air. I know it's really unprofessional as a radio show host, but, you know, I don't value anything you have to say enough to actually, you know, pay attention when you're on the air. And you can do that, and that's how you get back at these people. But no, you know, she got to be a part of this week's Libertarian Drama of the Week, and got up and flipped out and crybaby, triggertarian. Somebody said something that made me mad.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested in hearing more about this because...
Oh my God, bro. I'm telling you.
It's weird. I mean, if someone called the show, I wouldn't just flip out and quit the show because of an argument with them.
It was so funny. It was so funny. She's like, hey, he insulted me and you're going to keep him on the show? And I'm like, I've literally had my life threatened. Hell, James, the mouth-breathing dullard, has called and threatened my life on the air. And we kept him around for a whole segment. When I wasn't even a show host, I was like a guest. And still, it's like, well, it's a radio show host. It's a radio show, man. You can't just kick the collars off because they're idiots too, or because they say something that triggers you, you know? You get over it. Put on your big boy panties. Da-da-da. I mean, if you can't wear big boy panties, maybe you don't deserve to be on the radio. I mean, come on.
But I mean, especially when it comes to people like Ricky, who I've never actually spoken with or even heard from.
It wasn't Ricky who pissed her off. It was Lumpy, who's another one who gets hot, and he's very passionate, and he has a tendency to say things that, you know, might anger people. And he said something about, you know, he was talking about, you know, being raked over the coals by the child support system. And, you know, basically, like, he had a child that he didn't know about until the child was an adult. And, the woman hid the child from him. And then something happened, and she wanted money, and she came after him, and she raked him over the coals for a lot of his money and kept him from ever having the opportunity to have, like, the kind of relationship with the child that he wanted. And he was trying to explain that, and she's just like, oh, well, I'm a single mom, so everything that you think is stupid, so shut up, basically, you know. And he was like, why don't you shut up, you bitch? And she just, that was, because she started, when she was yelling over the top of him while he was trying to talk, you know, giving her opinion, and that was when he said, shut up, you know, shut up, bitch. And right before he said that, Daryl had just had enough of her screaming over the top of the guest and muted her microphone. And when she saw that she had been muted, that was the end of that, yo. It was awesome. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah. That sounds like, you know, a good introductory episode of Free Talk Live for me.
For real, yo. You got to go watch it. You got to go watch it. It's great. It is classic. I wasn't even watching for that. Like, one of the hosts has been to the Rajeshpuram commune back when it was still open in the 80s. And he was going to talk about his experience there. So me and my wife, we listened because we wanted to hear it. We wanted to hear Chris's story about his time with the Rajneeshs. And so we watched the whole, Chris never got around to talking about what happened with the Rajneeshs, but, you know. What we got was way better. I'm so glad we decided to listen last night. And then I wasn't like, hey, honey, put on TuneIn. I was like, hey, baby, put on Twitch.
And that was awesome.
Oh, it was great. It was great. If you go in the Free Talk Live chat room and scroll up, I think Singularity was the one who did it. She, Singularity actually posted like where it is and where the whole thing happens, and it was pretty funny. See, I told you guys when I started the show, we could do Libertarian Drama of the Week for the whole 3 hours and still not cover all of it. Yeah, exactly. We could. This week has been the week, man. Like, it's so
where abounds this week.
Oh my God. I'm telling you what, this week could bankrupt the value of WAN. Because you know, the more you print of a coin, the less it's worth. And we're going to need so much WAN this week that we may permanently kill the value of the coin from ever being more than like 0.1506 cents or something, you know? All right, so when we get back, we'll actually get into the crypto hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. We're going to be, what was that story we were going to be discussing? There it is. Oh, yeah. Come on, you slow thing. Oh, yeah, it's a time for an upgrade. A 32 megabyte hard fork from Bitcoin Cash. Are you a Bitcoin Cash investor? Do you have opinions on this? Give us a call, 603-283-6160. We'll be back with the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom in just a moment.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Join Daryl W. Perry on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio as he brings you news, views, and opinions while promoting the ideas of peaceful interaction.
Most people would say, well, yeah, you've got the cops. The cops are there to protect and serve. Wrong again. In theory, the cops are there to protect and serve, but in reality, there is no duty to protect. Cops are not obligated to offer any protection. If you are giving allegiance to a government in return for some sort of protection offered by the government, but that government is not obligated to protect you, then why are you giving allegiance to that government? They have voided their half of the agreement. And when one party voids an agreement, the entire agreement is void. There is no such thing as a citizen.
Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom, brought to you by Helium.com. Unasikiliza Crypto Hour inayohusu wito wa uhuru, imeletwa kwako na Helium.com.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom. I am Arya DeMeso, and with me, of course, is Will Coley, and we are getting into the Crypto Hour now. And we have a story here from Bitcoin.com about Bitcoin Cash and its plans to hard fork this May and upgrade its block size to 32 megabytes, because obviously, when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. According to Bitcoin.com, Bitcoin Cash is forking again on May the 15th, and the protocol's consensus rules will change going forward. The fork was expected, thankfully, as the Bitcoin ABC lead developer announced intentions to fork a few months ago. Further, Sechet explained it would be easier to fork after the new year and detailed some of the reasons why the fork would take place. Now, this week, they released version, long number, which contains the code to change Bitcoin Cash Network's consensus rules. And although there's no actual specified time that it's going to take place at, it is taking place somewhere around March 15th, 12 o'clock UTC. And the plan essentially is to upgrade the block size from, I think it's currently at 2 megabytes for Bitcoin Cash to 32 megabytes, effectively making it 16 times bigger. The development team explains that anyone running an ABC node should immediately upgrade. I'm sorry?
It's 8, and they're raising it to
32.
It's 8? Yes.
I thought it was Bitcoin Gold that was at 8.
Bitcoin Cash, right, Ian? Bitcoin Cash? Yeah, at the meetup. Yeah, at the meetup today, they were talking about it's 8 now, and they're upgrading it to 32.
Okay, awesome. It's still the wrong solution. I mean, they need to just erase the block size definitions entirely.
Right.
And let the miners set it so that there's no arbitrary floor.
Amen to that.
But, this is what they're going to do, and I guess it's better than Bitcoin Core's 1 megabyte and SegWit. The developers also detail that they are in the midst of talking with major exchanges and wallet providers concerning the upgrade. The team emphasizes that the community can help by contacting infrastructure providers to make the process go more smoothly. The last Bitcoin Cash Network upgrade back in November 2017 had 0 complications, and the difficulty algorithm adjustment consistent changes have kept the mining difficulty consistent. It's safe to say that the Bitcoin Cash community in general doesn't seem to be afraid of hard forks. I mean, most people aren't, because if it goes badly, you just, get double the currency. Proponents are looking forward to 32 megabyte block size increase and opcode additions that could bring Ethereum-like characteristics. I want more details on these Ethereum-like characteristics. And how do you drop a statement like that and then give no further details? It's saying that it's going to bring Ethereum-like characteristics to the Bitcoin Cash Network, and then that's it. That's the end of the article.
Well, it's news.bitcoin.com.
Yeah, but holy crap! What Ethereum-like characteristics?
This is the same media. This is the same crypto media source that says, "Hey, we're going to tell you that this guy got arrested for selling Bitcoin." When the truth in the title, but the truth of the fact is he got arrested for helping a heroin dealer. What do you expect? It's clickbait.
Yeah, this doesn't even seem to be that bad of clickbait, though. It's just stupid writing and bad writing.
Well, yeah, again.
How would I even go about finding out that? I'm sure there's some obscure.
At least they can write it in English. When you read Cointelegraph, not only is it clickbait, but the grammar is so bad, half the time you have to rewrite the article as you're reading it.
Gotta love that. That's true. It is in English.
Now, I got to give a shout out.
It has that going for it.
I've got to give a shout out right now to Tom Gray, one of our normal Friday night hosts. He is in Knoxville right now and just shot me a photograph of. He is at a great little spot to eat. If you ever happen to be in Knoxville in the downtown area and you want to get some really good food, good international food, it's literally every bit of it is handmade. It's called Yassine's Falafel House, and you can get falafels there. You can get chicken. You can get gyros. You can get vegetarian fare. You can get hummus and baba ganoush. They've got baklava. They've got kids meals. You can get Arab drinks and stuff. It's a really, really great place to eat. And Tom just sent me a photo. He happens to be out there right now enjoying some Yassine's falafels. So I am so jealous of Tom at this very moment. So, sorry,
I had never eaten a falafel.
Imagine like a ground up chickpea and Arab spices. It's kind of like a hush puppy, only some of them, some places make them kind of flat instead of completely round balls, and they're deep fried, and then you put them in a piece of bread with yogurt and olive oil and ground shredded Arab cheese, and some people throw olives or the yogurt's got garlic and cucumbers and salt and pepper and all that. You throw that all in this big Arab bread and eat it. And it's completely vegetarian. And the vegans love it. And it's super high in protein. And it's amazing.
Sounds awesome.
And if you get the right one, like Yassine's, he does everything. They hand grind the chickpeas. It's 7 different kinds of chickpea and bean. And they hand grind them into different consistencies depending on the chickpea. Some of it really fine like flour, some of it more like a cornmeal, and some of it almost like cracked pepper, that consistency, like fresh cracked pepper. And then mixes all that stuff with the spices. Yeah, man. He's just some he's just like a middle-aged Arab dude from Syria, you know? He just decided one day, I'm going to do lunch. So he rented a little spot downtown, and he was open for lunch. And then lunch 5 days a week became lunch 7 days a week. And then lunch 7 days a week became lunch and dinner 5 days a week. And then it became lunch and dinner 7 days a week.
That's an amazing success story.
It is. And
now, did he immigrate here? And I'm just asking this as a matter of curiosity because of the Syrian war.
No, he immigrated here during the first Syrian. His family immigrated here during the Syrian conflict. I believe in the mid-90s there was a civil war in Syria. His family went through the one in the 80s, and then when the one in the 90s kicked off, their family moved here. And then
I don't blame them. That's a lot of war.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you're when your country is ruled by a dictator that was put into power by the American CIA, that usually tends to happen, unfortunately.
It would be the ultimate irony, though, for people, rednecks in Knoxville who, are so anti-immigration to be loving his food.
Oh, they do.
So very, very much.
Yassine's Falafel Shop is one of the most popular restaurants to eat at in Knoxville. But you have to remember, Knoxville was a hub of the Underground Railroad. It's not like Nashville,
That's true.
where slavery was king.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night.
from there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, on the call to freedom on LRN.fm. أنتم تستمعون إلى The Crypto Hour. يقدم إليكم برعاية Helium.com على برنامج نداء للحرية على LRN.fm.
Live from the Verticoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium. 47 here on LRN.fm. When you hear the faucet, you call her 5 to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
All right, welcome back to the...
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. Welcome back to the Call to Freedom, to the Crypto Hour, where we've been discussing, Bitcoin Cash's upgrade, but we're going to move on to other things. So we have two stories here, Will. Which one would you like to go with?
I like the one with George Soros. That's great. It's like that's like the topic that triggers so many people in the right.
Well, also from Bitcoin News, or news.bitcoin.com, so, take it with a grain of salt. Apparently, George Soros is rumored to be investing in cryptocurrency. Billionaire octogenarian? What is that?
It means he's super old.
Okay.
Geriatric.
George Soros.
Geriatric is another one. Octogenarian. I think that means that he's like over 80 years old. Yeah, he's over 80.
Okay.
My dad
I see the etymology now.
My dad is an octogenarian because my dad's 83.
They could have just said old-ass billionaire George Soros.
Right, just geriatric George Soros.
Decrepit old tire is reportedly taking an interest in cryptocurrency trading. If true, the move would mark a remarkable turnaround for the business magnate, who's previously been scathing of Bitcoin, calling it bubble and a tool of dictator. It says that his best years may be behind him, but the tycoon still knows an opportunity for profit when he sees it. Crypto assets have traditionally been met with skepticism by senior investment figures like Soros and Warren Buffett, whose investment prowess is streets ahead of their tech knowledge. Fortunately, an innate understanding of blockchain technology is not required to participate in the crypto markets. Fortunately, that's the most unfortunate aspect of cryptocurrency, so that you don't have to know anything about them to buy them. And then idiots buy them, and they lose all their money, and then they cry to the government and want to be rescued. All they need is the simple ability, that was not in the article, obviously. All they need is the simple ability to calculate risk and reward. Bloomberg reports that George Soros is now pondering an entry into the cryptocurrency space. The Soros Fund Management, his family investment firm, has $26 billion in assets and is believed to have earmarked some of that capital for crypto. Bloomberg claims that Adam Fisher, an investor at the Soros Fund Management, has received the go-ahead to trade virtual currencies. Should this prove to be the case, it would make sense for Soros to enter now that the markets have cooled off, having dropped threefold from their December peak. How are they looking today, Will? Have you checked?
Who's that?
The crypto markets.
Everything's about the same. Verge is around the same. Let's see if there's been, I don't think there's been a real major. See, Bitcoin's down like 2%, Ethereum's down 2%, Ripple's down 4%. So like your top 100s are
small figures.
Yeah, very, very small fluctuation. I don't see any. Bitcoin Diamond has had a 17% raise. And outside
Is
of
Bitcoin Cash really at $600?
that's a pretty it's at $608.83, down 4% in the last 24 hours. Yeah, man.
I need to buy some of that.
It's way down. Bitcoin itself is below 7,000. It's at 6,600. Ethereum below 400. Ripple is at 47 cents. Let's see here. Litecoin is back down to 113.
I'm so sad to see it dip below 100 again.
Yep. Dollar tethers are still $1.
Really, the last time I checked Nubits, it was at like 35 cents.
Verge is.
But I don't know if it's technically a tether.
It's not. I don't think Nubits is a tether technically. Yeah, Bitcoin Gold is now trading at $39. $39.
Yeah, it's dead. I don't see Bitcoin Gold recovering at all, ever.
Wow. Oh my God.
So unlike the others, I really wouldn't recommend anyone purchasing that. Of course, that's not financial advice.
Zcash is below 200.
I wouldn't buy any Bitcoin Gold.
Zcash is below 200. Wow. I'm just like, this is, I mean, you have to admit, this is troubling. To see the top 100.
Well,
I mean, I was
invested. It's a buyer's market.
I was invested in Redcoin at one point in time. I bought it and it was just under a penny. I sold it. Now it's at 0.003. So,
ouch.
Yeah. And
What is that, a 300% loss?
I saw Redcoin as high as 2 cents, almost just barely under 3 cents, like 2.87 at one point in time.
What did you say Verge was at?
Verge is at 0.57.
Okay, well that's not
just
awful.
Barely under 6 cents. So it's not really changed. In the last 24 hours, it's actually gone up 5.52% from this very moment 24 hours ago. So, but
Sweet.
I mean, the fluctuations in the market though are very small, between 1 and 5% on most of the coins. And most of them are down, but even the gains are 4.8, 5.5, 6.8, 1.2, 2.3, 0.2. The only major shift is this Bitcoin Diamond, listed at number 33 in CoinMarketCap's top 100. It's one of about a dozen coins listed in the top 100 that haven't seen drops of, like I said,
Bitcoin Diamond. Was that one of the scam coins that was forked just to give people more Bitcoin?
Not really sure what Bitcoin.
No, that was Bitcoin Platinum.
Yeah, that was Platinum. That was Bitcoin Platinum.
And silver. No, silver was an Ethereum token.
Well, it's currently trading at $2.33 a coin, which is a 17% increase against the dollar, up almost 20% against Bitcoin.
That's not bad.
You've got, like I said, altcoin markets are kind of stabilizing. They're not really going crazy too much. I would really be disappointed to see Bitcoin drop back down as low as 4,000, but unfortunately, it looks like it's slowly but surely trying to work its way there.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I didn't buy it when it was, well, I guess I did buy some when it was, $10,000, but I mean, at this point, everyone who's invested in the cryptocurrency idea, I think has already made peace with the fact that they're going to lose a lot of money, at least temporarily.
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, it could drop down to $2, and I'm not really going to be terribly concerned about it because I have confidence that it's going to climb back up at some point. Perhaps not Bitcoin, but, one of the ones that doesn't suck probably will.
Yeah.
And the article goes on.
Go ahead.
That Bitcoin's recent history is littered with public figures who've written cryptocurrency off only to later eat their words and stake a claim. Jamie Dimon's stance on Bitcoin has softened considerably. Don't know why anyone who has anything to do with cryptocurrency still even speaks that idiot's name, and it appears that George Soros may also have seen the light. Currently, Bitcoin is mostly used for tax evasion and for the rulers and dictatorships to build a nest egg abroad. He remarked, I don't know who it's referring to. Who is he? As recently as January.
All right, well, we'll be back with the rest of this article on George Soros now embracing Bitcoin. We'll get right back.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
All right,
welcome back.
We did it again. Welcome back into the Call to
I guess
Freedom.
I'm waiting too long.
Yeah. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, before we get done with the Crypto Hour, I want to remind you, are you new to crypto? Do you want to get invested? You want to get bought in, but you're worried? You don't know what a candle graph even is, let alone do you want to spend hours reading them? Well, let me introduce you to Helium.com. Now, Helium is a savings accelerator, and it's powered by Uphold.com. And what they've done is they've designed a bot, and it watches the values between regular fiats and cryptocurrencies at the same time. And then it moves your money when the timing is just right. See, you just you take your own bank card, right? Just a bank card, or your own digital wallet and charge up your Helium account, and then you set it and forget it. It's like the crock pot of cryptocurrency. Everything's completely automatic. Helium lets your money move you. So go on over and sign up at heliumwithane.com. That's HELEUM.com/CTF and get a great deal as a thank you for being a Call to Freedom listener. Now, Aria, you had another story that you were talking about, and you know what? I think that it's definitely a story for the Crypto Hour because of the fact that, cryptography could solve this problem that has now been created by legislation.
You're correct, and it's a really interesting idea. I think you said, let's put it on a blockchain, which, is a running theme, a running joke that we make, but, it's actually true in this case. Apparently, Backpage.com, which is essentially like Craigslist, has been seized by a combination of the FBI, the Postal Service, the IRS, and all of that. And so has Craigslist's personal section. Well, it hasn't been seized, but it's been shut down. And the reason is because of this new law that has been passed, FOSTA, or something to that effect. But getting to the news story brought to us actually by BuzzFeed, is that Backpage.com, the popular classified ads website, appeared to be offline Friday, posting a message that it had been seized and disabled by the federal government. And on the actual, this website has been seized thing, it says that they're going to post an update at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. So in 10 minutes, they should, inform us of why. But we know why. They were met with the message that stated that it had been seized, and the Department of Justice did its usual thing where it didn't respond for comment. But the site has a somewhat worse reputation than Craigslist did for, being a place for sex workers to peddle their wares.
Well, yeah, I have a sister who has been working in the sex industry since I was 12 or 13 years old. And she used to work for a big escort service, and like they did birthday parties and bachelor parties and stuff like that. And then when the lady who ran that place died, she reopened it and she lists her advertisements on Backpage, and she says it's one of the safest ways for her to list her ads. It's actually safer than Craigslist.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. There was this website that was shut down a few years ago that was, dedicated to essentially prostitution. And I don't remember any of the stats, and I haven't been able to find the article since, but it was estimated that it would take like 3 million police officers to reduce crimes against sex workers to the same degree that this one website did.
Oh yeah, I knew when I lived in Florida. This is a thing most people don't know about me. When I lived in Florida, I used to run a company called Funtasia. And we used to run Backpage articles, but they were in the metro. They're in St. Petersburg. And we actually paid, because it's a yearly service you can pay to where you can get background checks. And like the money that we made out of the girl going to work was basically protecting her. You know, we would get names. You had to give me your name and your zip code, or we wouldn't send you a girl. Period. And then we would do background checks. We would look you up. We would try to find out who you were and make sure that we weren't sending girls to somebody who had a history of violence or that kind of thing. You know, we wanted to know your information, and then we would contact the girl, and the girl would contact you. If you were going to get a girl, someone would be in touch with you within an hour. And, you know, we had no problem.
Which is, you know, it significantly reduces sex trafficking.
Absolutely. Because your job, you're trying to, you know, basically, and our Funtasia wasn't the only one. I knew like 4 or 5 other service owners, because that ends up happening. And they all did the same thing. You know, to them, it was like, if something happens to one of these girls, then girls aren't going to want to work for them. Or girls aren't going to want to work in general. Because if girls are worried about being raped and attacked while they're working, you will pull a lower class of employee. A town that's known for like, oh, well, they found 2 escorts wrapped up in cellophane 3 weeks ago. You won't be able to find anything that you want to send to a customer that is willing to work. And because of that, these services, a lot of them go out of their way to protect the girls that work for them. Now, I'm not an advocate of sex work, outside of saying, like, look, if this is a profession that's existed as long as humanity as long as recorded history has existed, so we may as well at least acknowledge
get the stick out of our asses.
For real, it's always going to be here. So at the very least, let these girls do this in a way that they can be protected. And if the back page is going to be outlawed, then the people in the crypto industry need to step up and create a blockchain-based version of this that allows these kinds of advertisements to be put out there and this type of stuff to happen in a more safe environment than these poor girls having to walk on the side of the street and be picked up by strangers. This is how you end up with girls with pimps that smack them around and spit in their face. These are the girls that walk on the side of the road that happens to. And when you get rid of Backpage, you're pushing those girls from Backpage to the street corner. And it's much more dangerous out there.
Yeah, it's horrific and brutal and dangerous and filled with drugs and STDs and all kinds of crap. I mean, there's... prohibition has never gotten rid of anything. I don't know why. I don't know why people keep trying it. Whether we're talking about drugs or sex work or abortion or whatever, telling people not to do it or that they're not allowed to do it has never, once in the history of the human race, gotten rid of the thing that we banned. No. Ever. Mm-mm. It doesn't even work in prisons. We can't keep guns and drugs and sex out of prisons, the most controlled places on planet Earth. Even, you know, these terrible Russian prisons have these same issues.
People in China can watch MTV. You know?
Yeah, we could turn the entire planet into a prison in order to control prostitution and drugs, and we still wouldn't be able to.
People in China can watch MTV, but you think that people here in the U.S. or that the U.S. government can somehow stop people from doing stuff or watching stuff or eating stuff or drinking stuff. I mean, you literally have people like I saw a story the other day where people buy their pizza on one side of the street and their soda on the other side of the street because the soda tax isn't enforced on the other side of the street because that side of the street isn't considered a part of the city. It's in the county.
I believe that. And because, you know, what are we really talking? We're splitting hairs so badly when we're talking about prostitution. Because, yeah, if you take a girl out on a date and you buy her dinner and you end up having sex with her.
Or you expect
it's just prostitution with extra freaking steps. I don't care how people justify it.
I can't believe I'm going to say this on air. This is totally going to get me ostracized again. What was it that Dale Hughley said at the Def Comedy Jam 25th anniversary? No, honey. No. That's the I'm getting laid side of the menu. You need to order from the other side. If you ain't planning on putting out tonight, you should you need to order off the front 2 pages. He's allowed to say that, though. I'm not. For some reason. I don't know. Anyway, when we get back, it's going to be time for your favorite part, my favorite, everyone's favorite. We are going to have, we're going to have the fat, red-headed, naked libertarian on for the last segment. So stick around, come back. We're going to have James Weeks on with us from the Libertarian Party Audacious Caucus on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, April 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.36 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,574. Antiwar.com reports Russia's foreign ministry issued a statement Thursday calling on the United States to immediately halt all military activity on the Korean peninsula. The U.S. is currently engaged in joint military operations with South Korea. The spring joint operations are always a source of tension on the peninsula, and Russian officials say they are not helping in ongoing efforts to try to reduce military tensions in Korea. The operations have been a problem every year. This year hasn't been as big an issue, however. The joint operations are smaller and only half as long this year because of the Winter Olympics. North Korea has been fine with ignoring the operations this year. North Korea has planned summits with both South Korea and the United States over the next 2 months and doesn't want to risk damaging the considerable diplomatic progress over the war games, especially when they're visibly toned down from recent years. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the city of San Francisco sued U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions on Thursday, alleging he rescinded several civil rights guidelines for marginalized segments of the population. San Francisco City Attorney Dennis Herrera's complaint claims Sessions unlawfully rescinded civil rights protections for youth, immigrants, the poor, people of color, and people with disabilities. His office also argues Sessions failed to provide a meaningful explanation for the repeal, which is required under the Administrative Procedures Act, and the Department of Justice refused to disclose who was on a task task force that selected the documents for repeal. Herrera said in a statement, the mission of the U.S. Department of Justice is to ensure fair and impartial administration of justice for all Americans. Under the leadership of Attorney General Sessions, the department has shown a shocking disregard for protections of rights of marginalized communities, rolling back civil rights initiatives in a wide variety of areas. As Americans, we have an obligation to stand up and right that wrong. In December, Sessions rescinded 25 U.S. Department of Justice guidance documents claiming they were unnecessary, inconsistent with existing law, or otherwise improper. Herrera's lawsuit seeks to have the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California void the DOJ's repeal and have the guidance documents reinstated. The bipartisan U.S. Commission on Civil Rights issued a statement urging Sessions to reverse the decision to rescind these recent narrow-crafted, urgently applicable guidance documents. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports a justice for the Supreme Court of Massachusetts on Thursday ordered the dismissal of 7,690 drug cases because of their link to a former forensic chemist who authorities said for 8 years stole drug evidence and worked in a state lab under the influence. Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court Justice Frank Gaziano issued an order dismissing thousands of convictions tainted by Sonia Farrak, a chemist at the Massachusetts State Crime Laboratory in Amherst who pled guilty in 2014. The dismissal came after various district attorneys' offices in November notified the court that an estimated 6,000 drug cases were subject to dismissal because of their connection to Farrak. Carol Rose, executive director for the ACLU of Massachusetts, said in a statement, "Today is a victory for justice and fairness." The dismissals came after prosecutors in April agreed to dismiss around 21,000 criminal cases because of a scandal involving a different state chemist, Annie Dukin, who admitted faking tests. Farrak, a chemist at the Massachusetts State Criminal Laboratory in Amherst, was arrested in 2013. She later pled guilty to stealing drugs from the lab and was sentenced in 2014 to serve 18 months in prison. The ACLU has asked the court to dismiss not just the cases directly linked to Farrak, but all drug convictions arising from the Amherst lab during her tenure. The court is scheduled to hear arguments in that case in May. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
According to members of the 1998 University of Virginia graduating class, Governor Jim Gilmore's commencement speech to them continues to be a deep well of wisdom and guidance even 15 years after it was delivered. Classmates confirmed that while friends at other universities heard from such figures as Jimmy Carter, Kurt Vonnegut, and the Dalai Lama, the inspirational words of Virginia's 68th governor continues to profoundly inform their lives and actions.
Whenever I face a dark moment in my life, I just think back to Governor Gilmore's speech, and it almost instantly puts things back into perspective. It's like he said, go forward and be successful and achieve your hopes and dreams and aspirations. All I can say is I hope I've lived up to that incredible lesson.
And in local news, a 5-year-old figures he has about a year left of peeing at urinals with his pants all the way down. In other news, using the amount of toothpaste shown in commercials is a disgusting experience. A grizzled proofreader has seen it written both ways, and a cackling Warren Buffett burns his entire fortune in front of the nation.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Here we go, off the rails, you know, it's time to raise ourselves. It's freedom like you never knew. Go back or past, say the word, I'll be there.
All right, welcome back here to the final hour of this Friday live broadcast of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what? These days, it is nearly impossible to keep your internet communications secure. The feds, they have so many tools at their disposal to subpoena or even shut down servers to prevent you from communicating altogether. That's where CryptVisor comes in. a decentralized messaging platform built on the blockchain. Now, CryptVisor doesn't have a centralized server, so there's nothing for the government to shut down if they want to silence you. And they don't collect any of your personal information, so if they come around sniffing and scratching with subpoenas, well, there's nothing for CryptVisor to give up because they simply don't have it. So go on over and check out CryptVisor right now and learn about their CVPay crypto wallet and other advanced security features. You can do that at cryptvisor.network. That's CryptVisor with a C, .network. Now, everybody, it's another beautiful Friday here in the, in the home of freedom, in the live free or die state. But, well, y'all know what that sound right there means. And you know what 6 o'clock on a Friday means.
So are the days of our lives.
It's time for the Libertarian Drama of the Week.
The sole reason I joined the show at this hour. Because I wasn't about to miss this.
Right? See, I heard you like drama, so we got drama for your drama in the drama on Drama's Drama and the drama.
We created a drama black
Did you
hole.
bottom chain your own joke?
I didn't on purpose, but it happened. I said I didn't on purpose.
Don't lie.
It literally, the is literally directly under vintage 80s 1985 Days of Our Live opening theme song in our like extra clips playlist. So yeah, it automatically
Absolutely no one unaffiliated with the show understood any of what you just said. But
I have a list of stuff, a playlist of sounds and things that we play on the air, and it plays automatically if you don't pause it through the whole list of sounds. And I didn't hit the pause button or mute the channel because we were talking to each other, and I told a joke, and it just happened to ching at the perfect moment. So that's a natural joke. Thank you very much. Now, this week, as I said, we heard you like drama. So since you like drama, we got drama for the drama and drama on drama with drama for drama. And for all that drama, we decided to bring on some other libertarian voices. Well, we were joined by the naked libertarian himself, everybody's favorite libertarian stripper, Mr. James Weeks from the Libertarian Party Audacious Caucus and Podcasts Are a Spook podcast.
Podcast titles are a spook.
Podcast titles are a spook. My bad.
They're both spooks, let's be honest.
It's all a spook. How you doing today, James?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Daryl's listening. I don't know if he's coming on or if he's just going to sit there. He just wants, Daryl wants the drama. He's like everybody else. He's like drama.
Just craves the drama.
We've got plenty today.
Oh man, like we've got
but we should get into it.
Oh, we got so much drama. I could have covered drama for the whole 3 hours. Where are we going to start today? There's a lot.
Let's start with Heather because that's really recent and people seem really interested in it.
Oh no! What happened?
No, Daryl, you got to pull the microphone down for this one because you were there. I want to make sure.
So, Daryl, what happened?
I want to make I'll explain what happened. I just want to make sure that I got like the events right because I was watching from Twitch on the way home. Basically, Lumpy calls in and they got in an argument, and Heather kept screaming over the top of the caller, and literally at the exact moment that Daryl muted her microphone so that she couldn't scream over him anymore, he called her a bitch at that exact second. And like her eyes got the size of small dinner plates. Like he called me that and you muted me. But you could see like I was watching Daryl and the way the camera was. Like Daryl was muting her at that moment no matter what happened. And she just took it really wrong and got really angry. And that's right.
Gee, I wonder why.
And I thought she had left because I saw her get up and walk
leave.
out, but apparently she had just stepped out of the studio, not actually left, and then she came back, and then luckily none of the cursing went out over the airwaves because I kept like muting everything in the studio. And my plan was we've got to call her, just Lumpy keep talking, because as long as somebody not in the studio was talking, then I could keep the mics in studio muted.
Right.
And this all happened because she was called a bitch?
Well,
no, it happened. She was upset
and you muted her at the
because
same time.
I kept telling her, let him finish his thought. And she kept talking, and then I hit mute, and I probably shouldn't have. I should have also muted him at the same time.
Well, it's a talk radio show.
As they say, hindsight is 2020.
It's a talk radio show that's specifically devoted to the callers. So, I mean, if you're yelling over the caller, everybody in the Discord, I literally watched the Twitch numbers go from 13 to 33 in the course of about 8 minutes. It's like people were messaging each other privately like, oh my God, you got to get on here. She walked out. It finally happened.
So were people making bets on this?
Oh my God. People have hated her for, I don't know, always.
Yeah, I'll be totally honest. I have no idea who Heather is, except that she's the girl that everybody in the Discord chat hates. That's how I know Heather.
Yeah,
period.
You can tell that she was on the night before because when you open the Discord chat, if it's on Free Talk Live,
oh God, why do you people still have Heather on?
Yeah,
so terrible. So, like 150 messages of that before I can find out if anybody's even talking about our show. That's the Heather, the morning after Heather experience.
Wait, you've got a show,
right?
Shut up, Daryl.
We're that 3-hour show that nobody listens to that's on before you guys.
That winds up, still getting about probably 50 to 60 downloads an episode.
Oh, easily. I think we're up to like 70 now, aren't we? 75, something like that.
It's been a while since I've looked, but I don't really pay attention to podcast statistics.
And that's in 3 months. We went from like 20 to 50 to 70, like boom, boom, boom. So I mean, that's a pretty good rate of growth.
Yeah, I can actually take a look right now and tell you.
But yeah, so yeah, that was.
Let's find out.
Right, that's story number 1 for tonight. Is I don't know if she's quit altogether, or if like
I've considered her walking out as resigning from the show.
Okay, so yeah, she quit. She didn't just quit. She rage quit.
That
was
awesome.
I mean, that's what makes it the drama.
Yeah, she rage quit.
So
nobody resigns quietly from a libertarian anything.
Looking at the statistics here for Call to Freedom, averaging looks about 55, 60 downloads. The last couple of episodes, the download numbers are a little bit lower than they were for last week. But last week, everything was between about 60 to 70, and Will just had to step out for a second to take a phone call. But now apparently he is back. He did not walk out of his own radio show, because that would be really weird.
Yeah.
No, I have to tell people, like, it's from Tennessee, and my dad had a stroke earlier this week.
Oh, no.
So when I see a Tennessee phone number and it's in the middle of the show, because my family knows, and my family are like super religious about like, don't call me at work.
Right.
So, all right, well, we'll be back with more of the libertarian drama for this week in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. Stick around.
With the gold of sun.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Friends of local man Carl Brewster told reporters this week they are all absolutely at a loss as to how he is not completely depressed.
I've known Carl for years now, and he really is a great guy, super nice. But honestly, I don't know how he doesn't go home and cry himself to sleep every night. I mean, he walks dogs for a living and no one will ever date him. I really don't get it.
Saying that they were baffled at how their close friend managed to remain even moderately happy day in and day out given his life circumstances, sources confirmed they were regularly confronted with Carl's perplexingly gregarious and affable demeanor.
I mean, Carl's life really, really sucks, but somehow he manages to wave good morning to me every time I see him, and he always has this big smile on his face. Maybe he's on some kind of medication.
Things have always been really awful for Carl, but he's never really been depressed. I mean, I make 3 times as much money as him, and I'm totally miserable. Honestly, we all thought he would have killed himself by now, but he hasn't.
This is the Onion News Network.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. And it is, well, we're in the middle of everybody's favorite time of the show, the Libertarian Drama of the Week. And, well, our first drama story, well, it's from right here in our very own little studio, where it was, well, it was a little bit of an altercation.
Now tell me your name. Yolanda. Right now,
So, tell her to be cool, man. Tell her she needs to be cool. Cool down, girl. Go home or go cool down. Hey, Tom says your new nickname is Ringo from now on, Daryl.
Like the Beatles?
Be cool.
From Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
The scene where the girlfriend jumps up and
that's why it's your nickname.
She
It wouldn't be
totally
your nickname if you liked
starts
it.
screaming and flips out, and he's like, "Ringo, you better tell that bitch to be cool, man." That's you, man. That's you.
All I will
Shoot.
say is that is a tasty burger.
That is a tasty burger. Oh no!
Hey, flock of seagulls.
All right, so moving on. Moving on. We
to the east side.
Right. We
to
wanted
the
to
high-rise
cover
apartments in the sky.
we wanted to cover this this article by Mark Montoni that came out about a little over a week ago, because it really relates to all the other drama that we're going to cover from this point forward today. It all comes from and stems from, and even the drama we just dealt with comes from people in the Libertarian Party doing what Mark Montoni has now written a very public apology and repentance that has received 251 replies.
He basically was like, oh, now I get why the LPAC split off from the LP Radical Caucus.
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually say that, though.
Yeah, he doesn't actually say that.
Yeah, but that's what he's getting at.
Yes. So, and that's another reason why we brought James on to be with us, is because we wanted a little bit of commentary from that. Now, Aria, since my voice has not been cooperating with me for this day, you were going to take the lead on this. You've got the Independent Political Report. Now, this was actually written by Mark Montoni himself.
Yeah, it was put on his blog, from what it looks like, is where they pulled it from.
Entitled,
looks like.
Yeah, and it's kind of long, so I'm not going to read the entire thing.
Admitting My Error is the title. Go ahead, Aria.
But it begins, I think I've made a mistake. I think I've continued to make it for almost 2 decades. I used to be that guy who showed up at every Libertarian Party meeting and invited everyone who was in attendance to make that next step and to join the LP. I collected and sent well over 1,200 new or renewal memberships to the LP between 1996 and 2016. I think it was a mistake because the LP's membership efforts, mine included, have been too successful. Too successful at enlisting people who just don't get it. In the 70s, even many monarchists would have been at great pains to describe even one government regulation that they agreed with, in which they could justify being left among the powers allowed to government. Now we have self-styled anarchist LP members who have no trouble suggesting that there are indeed government regulations that have a libertarian justification for supporting them. In the past week, I have read commentary by 2 people I have known for a long time, saying that there is a libertarian case to be made for preventing people under 21 from owning a firearm.
So, hold on.
Yeah, because I couldn't read that with a straight face.
Yes.
So there are people trying to make a libertarian case for regulations of firearm. What are some of the other?
I've actually heard libertarians use the phrase "common sense gun control" lately.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yes.
Didn't Bill Weld use that term 2 years ago?
Exactly.
Because if you remove the firing pin, then it turns your 5-shot standard military issue
into a weapon of mass destruction.
Yeah.
But a month ago, a whole bunch of self-styled. Go ahead.
I was just saying Bill Weld's terrible.
Okay. A bunch of self-styled libertarian anarchists jumped on the under 18 cannot consent to sex bandwagon, despite the fact that it is just another government regulation like any other. And despite the fact that, millions do just that year after year.
Right.
We appear to have developed a deep-seated misunderstanding of what anarchism and even libertarianism actually mean. You become a libertarian when you understand that it's wrong to run the lives of others. You become an anarchist when you understand that there are no exceptions.
Hear, hear.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, you want me to continue on? I mean, it
yes.
essentially keeps going, giving examples of
Well,
that.
yeah, he says we've spent 40 years allowing ourselves to swallow the propaganda that it's, quote, for the children. And that only the Leviathan can ever be the competent arbiter to own a weapon, drive a car, have sex, take drugs, buy property, or set up a business. Well, you know what? That's what I've been arguing. That's what Arvin Vahra's been arguing. That's what lots of libertarians who are finding themselves on the end of a campaign meant to silence libertarian opinions in libertarian circles.
Now, the funniest part of this article here is this somewhat oddly worded sentence fragment. The result has been 40 years of banging around between 10 and 25,000 annual donors. That just sounds like fun right there.
Right.
It does.
Banging 10 to
It
25,000
sounds like one of those
donors a year?
bukkakis that Will was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Right. Make it rain. Make it rain. Says we need 250,000 annual donors. And Walking Softly isn't getting us introduced to them. Oh my God, it's almost like the
Why
exact
do we need
same
250,000 annual donors? I mean, what? We don't need that.
If they all donate $1,
then we have
He
enough
still
money to
doesn't
run
get
the
it.
party for
then
a
you've got
year.
$250,000.
Yeah. This guy still doesn't get it, though. We don't need 250,000 annual donors. We need actual libertarians. He's still what?
Well, no. What he's saying is that that us not being who we are as libertarians and trying to build a what I'm calling a populist message, libertarian populism. It's what it is. Make no doubt about it.
Yeah, but what
Bill Weld
see,
and
but
Gary
what we're
Johnson
saying is
advocate
that the
populism.
Libertarian Party is not the vehicle for achieving a libertarian society. And Montoni is suggesting that it still is, and the Libertarian Party can be used to, take control of government and achieve a libertarian society if only we had more money. That's what he's saying here.
He still doesn't get it.
Well,
I mean, he understands that.
So I think James is right.
His trying to do this. He still has not realized that he's completely 100% wrong. The only reason for activism is to recruit, to bring people in, to have a soapbox. It's not a vehicle for change. Political, societal change, I guess we should say, can never be achieved through the political process just because of the nature of politics.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, when we get back here on Libertarian Drama, we're going to continue on. Arvin Vohra is basically saying that at the LNC itself, he is the only voice now not arguing in favor of common sense gun control.
The warning signs.
First, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices, but I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom, live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We got a full studio today. Got quite a few people in here listening right now. We've got Daryl W. Perry from the Liberty Lobby of New Hampshire here in studio with us. And we've also got James Weeks, everybody's favorite naked libertarian, the LNC stripper himself. From the Libertarian Party Audacious Caucus on with us today as well. And of course, you know, it's after 6 p.m. on a Friday. So that means we are doing an hour-long segment on Libertarian Drama of the Week. And this week, well, we just have to go story to story to story to story because we got drama for the dramas, drama in drama on the drama.
Dramatarian drama of the drama.
For real. And you know what? Every once in a while, we get a week where, like, we could just cover Libertarian Drama of the Week every day.
There's so much drama in the LBC.
In the LNC.
It's kind of hard being Snoop D-O double G.
Right. All right. So, Aria, I'm not on Facebook anymore. I deactivated my Facebook account.
What?
That was about 5 days ago. And so you have to queue up the statement from Arvin Vohra today. And I told you before, there's a list of like 10 statements from different moderate and libertarian and conservative magazines and groups that are listed here. We're not going to read all of those because the most important information is Arvin's own words at the very beginning and those last two paragraphs at the end.
Right. So Libertarian Drama superstar Arvin Vohra shared with us on Facebook what he sent to the LNC. It seems quite surreal to be arguing that guns are specifically there to defend us against government tyranny. I probably have a far below average number of guns on the LNC, 0, and I follow a personal code of avoiding violence, even when it is morally justified or state-sponsored. And yet, this is not about my views, but about the libertarian views. It has been argued that the view that guns are there to oppose government tyranny is not a libertarian view, is a violation of the NAP, etc. But this is not some far extreme opinion shared only by me. It is a common view among libertarians and even conservatives, including those who have the ear of the mainstream that many of you so desperately crave. I've included a few of them here from anarchist and conservative sources, not the anarchist sources that tend to be more aggressive. And then there's a quote from people like the Libertarian Party of North Carolina, our own beloved Rand Paul, the Future of Freedom Foundation, and a few others. But getting back to Arvin, and if this is about appealing to the mainstream, here's what Rasmussen had to say about it a few years ago. The latest Reports National Telephone Survey finds that 65% of American adults think the purpose of the Second Amendment is to make sure that people are able to protect themselves from tyranny. Not surprisingly, 72% of those with a gun in their home regard the Second Amendment as a protection against tyranny. However, even a majority, 57%, of those without a gun in their home hold that view. I've argued that we are becoming, as a movement, culturally Democrats. We insist that people can't stop themselves from having 9 kids on welfare, or that it is their natural right to do so, or that if it wasn't for government, all those people with no economic skill to speak of would be instant millionaires. So they would be able to afford to have 50 kids, so government owes them stolen money because they kept themselves to 9. From what I've seen in this discussion, we've lost touch with even the most basic principles of supporting the Second Amendment. I find it striking that I am, somehow, the only person on the LNC who believes that the Second Amendment and the natural gun rights it expresses is for resisting government tyranny.
Read that line one more time. Read that last line one more time.
I find it quite striking that I am somehow the only person on the LNC who believes that the Second Amendment and the natural gun right it expresses is for resisting government tyranny.
The only voice on the LNC.
Standard libertarianism. That's like that's like not even 101. That's like from the pamphlet you read before you sign up for the 101 class.
Yeah.
So is this in
the
response? Is this post in response to his joke, and I'm using air quotes there, his joke that somehow like shooting a school board meeting is okay?
Kind of.
Of course it is.
I can explain that a little bit here. He made that comment on MeWe or whatever, and then people freaked out about it. But then during the whole conversation back and forth about this, Arvin's statements supporting the end of prohibition on automatic weapons was all of a sudden thrown in his face as something negative about him and was used against him during the proceeding. So all of this did originate with the whole, enough school shootings, it's time for school board shootings thing he posted on MeWe. But it came to now all of a sudden, well, you support automatic weapons, so that must mean that you want to shoot government agents. And that's what kind of now it's now it's the whole thing.
Now it's guns are only for deers and ducks.
Yeah, that's what LP's saying now. Is guns are only for deers and ducks.
Right. What was it? What was that thing that that Jefferson said? That something about liberty being worthy of protection.
Well, the tree of liberty needing to be must be refreshed with the blood of tyrants.
No.
And
it was the blood of deer and ducks.
Patriots.
Deer and ducks.
I'm
pretty sure that's
the tree of liberty is refreshed with the blood of deer and ducks.
That's
and
the
squirrel
the LP
and rabbit.
Version, the 2018 LNC abridged version.
That's the Johnson Weld Libertarian Party for you right there.
Yeah,
Be very quiet.
Yeah,
I'm hunting rabbits.
Oh my God, we need a video with like Bill Weld's head on Elmer Fudd.
Exactly.
Well, you remember when I was in the debate in Orlando, and I asked Bill Weld, I said, if I own a hand-built Romanian AK-47 and I want to keep that, do you have a problem with that? And he made a comment about guns and blah, 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 and deer hunting. And I said, well, what if I think my gun is for protection from tyranny, not for hunting ducks? And he said, oh, so what you're saying is we should start shooting congressmen?
What if the ducks are tyrannical?
And that's a logical fallacy if I ever heard one. And his constituency, by the way, including Heather, called me a nutcase for saying what I said.
Just quote Dick Cheney, I thought it was a duck.
Exactly.
Wasn't he actually dove hunting, though?
Yeah, dove. I thought it was a dove, not a duck.
Dove, whatever.
Yeah. I thought
dove, deer.
I thought he was a 5-foot-tall old white pheasant.
Wearing a human mask.
Right, and a bright orange jacket.
Oh, I meant peasant.
Those doves are getting tricky. They look like congressmen now.
I meant peasant. I forgot there was an H. I thought the H was silent.
Oh my
We all
God.
know there are no doves in Congress. They're all hawks. But here's what's striking to me. What's striking to me is that in responding to something that Arvin said, which was genuinely controversial because it could be construed that he was saying shoot people, they brought up a comment that's not controversial, which is people just owning automatic firearms.
Which is basic
guys.
libertarianism.
Which is it's basic republicanism at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
You can't even support you can't even support freedom of association anymore in the Libertarian Party. Being in support of the freedom of association and against government forced association is now a controversial opinion in Libertarian Party circles. I mean, it's even getting to a point where the outside the party, like the Porkfest libertarians, these kinds of ideas are completely controversial. Tell me, when did libertarianism die in this country?
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live.
It hasn't been unheard of for the police to insert an instigator. These are things they do, believe it or not. They'll have a plainclothes officer go into the protest and act as though he's one of the protesters, and then the plainclothes officer will start something with another one of the police.
Oh, come on. This sounds like a conspiracy theory now.
This is not a conspiracy theory. These are confirmed occurrences. Let's give the cops a benefit of the doubt and say it really was some instigator starting stuff with the cops. Does that mean that it's appropriate to flush every single person out of the park with rubber bullets, tear gas, and other sorts of offensive devices?
Doesn't seem like it to me.
Wouldn't it make more sense to stop the person who's instigating, to, put a stop to those specific individuals?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Welcome back into the final segment of the Libertarian Drama of the Week on our final segment of today's final episode of this week of The Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio. Well, we're joined in studio by Mr. Daryl W. Perry from the Liberty Lobby of New Hampshire. We've got James Weeks from the Libertarian Party Audacious Caucus, and podcast titles are a spook, right? Yeah.
Spooks are a spook.
Spooks are a spookity spook. And of course, my normal host, Aria Demezio, and Mr. Tom Gray. We've been covering this week's biggest stories of drama, and well, this time I'm on the list as well.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
You just made the list.
I did.
Two of us.
Yeah, but unfortunately, you can't win anywhere.
Yeah, that's okay.
Why not?
Oh, because I'm a host. Because I'm a show host.
Just give us a
well, because then
and lie to us about whose it is.
Right.
It's crypto,
Tom. We have to when we're on the air. We have to pretend to have more integrity than that.
I love that you said you have to pretend to have integrity.
No.
Well, yeah,
that was intentional.
It's called corporate formalities. We pretend to have integrity, but now
it's an agreed upon lie, though.
Like when Google said they weren't going to be evil.
Lie. Yeah. So, but anyway, let's make sure we don't shortchange Will's drama, because it's as much of a doozy as anybody's.
So what you're saying is all of this is a work.
Yes. So basically, what happens?
Daryl, stop talking like you know the business.
Right. This is basically what happened. I made the statement to Adam Bates of the Cato Institute that, well, Arvin Vohra's statement on the culpability and the use of violence against state officials is not a controversial conversation to have among libertarians. That literally since the days of David Thoreau, libertarians have been discussing the moral issue of where culpability begins and ends for government officials, and whether a person acting on behalf of government or profiting from government has a moral culpability in that fact that you were oppressed and stolen from in order for that to happen. And that's a normal conversation. And that censoring people for thinking we should still have that conversation simply because it's 2018 and libertarians all of a sudden got really buttholes tender as soon as Donald Trump got elected, that's wrong. And we continued to have that argument back and forth of him saying, no, there's no time that you're allowed to have this conversation. The answer is simply that Arvin is wrong, period. And then finally he says, well, do you think it's okay to shoot the mailman? And this is an unserious question because, I'm literally saying this is a moral discussion we're allowed to have. I'm not taking a position. I'm simply saying we should be allowed to have the conversation.
Right.
That libertarians should not censor libertarians talking about this issue because the normies might get squeamish. And his response was, do you think that, I should be allowed to shoot the mailman? And I said, well, I don't know. Did he just get back home from shooting Afghan children yesterday? Now, anybody, and then the next sentence was, or does he moonlight as a cop? Now,
did he wind up stealing my package
the guy
from
in
Amazon?
the studio who's like talked to me 3 times is smiling over here because he sees, he's like, that's a funny joke, yo. He got it. It's a rhetorical device. It's meant to be like, really, you're gonna ask me a stupid question like that? Screw you, you jackass. I don't know. Is it okay to murder children overseas? I don't know. Or you want to have a serious conversation, or do you want to act like a jackass on the internet? You want to virtue signal to your new progressive friends. And then he called me a Nazi and implied that I was a Nazi and a part of the alt-right. And I was like, you know what? Every time I've commented on something on your page in the last 6 months, you've called me a white supremacist. And I'm just, you know what, you triggertarian crybaby piece of trash, I am just done. I am absolutely done being insulted by you so that you can impress your new progressive friends who have a problem with me literally based on the color of my skin. And you think that you're virtue signaling and white knighting for these Muslim women when they're out there literally because, oh, well, they're Muslim activists, when the imams and the scholars of our religion are giving lectures saying that these women and their ideas are dangerous and that they're infecting the Islamic community with progressivism. And I don't mean like free speech. I mean like what you and I know as progressivism, this hardcore, the state should solve all problems, the violence of the state is grand, only white people can be racist. You know, like the message. What's the progressive message today? Well, that's being injected into the Muslim community by the women that Adam has decided he wants to impress. Well, I made a post about the fact that I had blocked him because I was tired of being insulted and because of the fact he was picking up bad habits from progressives, and that should be a warning to other people to watch the company that they keep. And his response was that I had said that if you hang out with progressives, you might start thinking that they, progressives, and Muslim women have rights, when that is not anything. Yeah, right? Oh my God, the look on Daryl's face right now in the studio. So basically what he posted on Facebook was me, an imam who runs a Muslim community center, who has spent the last 10 years of my life fighting to protect my Muslim community and encouraging Muslim women to become armed so that they can physically fight to protect themselves if necessary. I don't think these women have rights because I don't think him virtue signaling to the leftists is productive. So he maligned me, not to libertarians, because what I said in a libertarian sphere is completely uncontroversial, and libertarians would have rightly and roundly mocked him for it. No, he maligned me directly to Muslim activists that he wants to become popular with, who are big names on the left. Bernie Sanders, little token hijabi. He literally tagged her and a few of her friends in the post where he made these things up about me, but he also posted my actual words in a screenshot. And it was literally a 5-hour-long conversation between him and his lefty friends, like this great big circle jerk, where they discussed what he said I said, while what I actually said was literally right there too.
But they didn't pay attention to what
a word
you
that I actually said. No, not at all.
Well, they never do. I mean, that's their tactic, is they take something you say and take it totally out of context.
That was
like they're doing with Arben.
That was the other thing, was I'm like, Adam is picking up these bad habits because he's hanging out with progressives. And his response was, yeah, let me illustrate those for the audience real quick.
Yeah.
Let me illustrate some of these horrible habits that I've picked up from these people by doing it in a huge social media area and literally like lying about what I said while posting what I really said. So that was my contribution this week. And it made it to Arvin. Oh, and I also said that a libertarian party, that if the choice in 2020 comes down to Bill Weld or white supremacists, that it would be better for actual libertarians to make the commitment that we would rather burn the party to the ground around us than watch Bill Weld or a white supremacist be our national spokesman in 2020. That we would dedicate, that actual libertarians should, during the convention, change their profile picture to a picture of a burning torch to give the message that if Bill Weld or a white supremacist are the nominee this year, actual libertarians will run small campaigns in their local areas, and it will literally be arm the homeless style stunts nonstop from August until November of 2020. And if you think Arvin Vohra saying something on Facebook that if I picked up my phone book and called 500 people and asked them if they knew Arvin Vohra was, they would all say no. If you think that damages the party, tell me what you think happens to your local campaign when there's an F the Police rally by a local sheriff's campaign in your town.
Hey, I've done both of those things.
That's right, and that's why we brought you on. All right, so that's the end of today's show, Libertarian Drama of the Week. Another week of Libertarian Drama in the bucket. This is Will Coley for all of us here at The Call to Freedom. Thanks for listening all week, but don't go anywhere. Free Talk Live's coming up next.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, April 6th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.36 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,574. Antiwar.com reports Russia's foreign ministry issued a statement Thursday calling on the United States to immediately halt all military activity on the Korean Peninsula. The U.S. is currently engaged in joint military operations with South Korea. The spring joint operations are always a source of tension on the peninsula, and Russian officials say they are not helping in ongoing efforts to try to reduce military tensions in Korea. The operations have been a problem every